All right, guys, welcome to not another fucking podcast. I've got myself, I've got Dan, and we've got our guest today, who is Reese Fit, more commonly known, well, I suppose Reece Pearson, more commonly known as Reese Fit, but known by a handful as Reese Fat, um, who is a PCA pro. Has had a blindingly good competitive season within the PCA, within open body. Was it open bodybuilding debut? Was it?
Yeah, yeah, first
Yeah,
ever.
open bodybuilding debut, and has you've done really well, mate. I've been massively impressed with what you managed to do in the off season, all the way up to that and the tissue. Like you made actual physical changes as opposed to me squinting at the screen, going, "Has he fucking done anything?" But no, really good, mate. Well done, well
Oh,
done.
thank you. First thing I'll say, I'm not trying to glaze too much, but I appreciate the invite. Like, Dan, obviously we know each other only from probably just a fist bump at a show, and you're
Yeah,
right.
pretty much.
But Tom, like, you're somebody who genuinely, like, I've looked up to since like day one. Obviously, Tom coached Sanaya, and then Sanaya sacked him off. And I
Yeah.
went to
But I quit bodybuilding in general, so
yeah,
like it was,
Tom
it
actually
was.
Tom ruined Sanaya's relationship with
I
bodybuilding.
ruined her relationship with food and bodybuilding and her body
Mhm.
image. I am the.
Yeah, gave her binge eating
I,
tendencies, all this sort of shit.
For those
Genuinely,
who,
like,
those who live under a rock, Sanaya and Reese are together. Sanaya is Reese's partner. You guys have been
and
together a
coach
while.
Sani Rambod.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
genuinely, like, I do
First
appreciate it.
competitive
Like,
season, fucking overall PCA.
yeah, no, crazy. But yeah, like I said, I appreciate the invite, and I do like genuinely like really look up to you, Tom. And I've like I wouldn't say like I've molded what I do off you, but I definitely can tell like I feel like I came into this very like new and fresh. And since my first competitive season in 2021, obviously seeing how you coach tonight, seeing how you are on show days, I definitely would say like I've emulated a lot of the things. And also I've always like enjoyed our conversations more than you probably believe when it comes to knowledge, information, and stuff like that. So the fact that, in a sense, even though we're not peers now, you're still way above me, like from a like coaching experience
I-
standpoint.
I've got I'd say on a coaching level in terms of capability, we are very much similar. I would say so. I'd say that I've just got more of a resume built up over years and potentially more
Let's be honest,
experience.
you're bolder, you're fatter, you're older. Like, open bodybuilders are going to look at you and go, "Yeah, he's more of a meathead." It makes
Exactly.
sense.
I'm Boulder fat. I was like, for a second when he said Boulder, I thought Boulder. I'm not more bold with my protocols. I'm like, oh, maybe I am actually, but but like no, yeah. It's nice to see, but it's nice to see younger guys coming through the ranks in terms of coaching and
Mm.
generally doing what I was doing at that time with your clients, like doing what is necessary to get people to their being at show days, supporting them, whatever. And you see like people like yourself who's there's a handful of names I could sort of pop out that are people who are just younger guys who you can tell are hungry. Obviously yourself, Dan, as well, are like hungry to climb that sort of ladder. Right,
Yeah.
and do the same sort of shit that like myself and Martin and Carl and like all of these guys are like have kind of done. Like you're on the path. You're very much on the path.
The
Mm.
standards getting pretty damn high in coaching, to be fair. I think we can all
I
agree
feel
that
like
the
in the
standards are
UK, I
going
feel like
up.
in the UK it is. I feel like apart from the natural scene, as we both saw from that
Oh,
carve up that I posted,
yeah, no,
I
to be
see that.
fair,
What
the
the
fact
fuck
that
is?
that's still happening on like a pro level, like in like we're not talking like, oh, you just go to like some weird amateur coach. Like we're talking the people coaching pro world champions, that is
Yeah.
their carb up. And they're all on that. Like not just one of them, like every single
It's
person.
hilarious, isn't it? It's
Could you
whatever.
not take that and look at like some of the Milos like insulin protocols and be like, that's kind of the same level of like mental fuckery that it should be. So instead of it being
At least Milos's stuff when he like if you look at his old stuff that he had for like if it's been leaked from clients, whatever, at
yeah,
least it had a level of like there was there was something
yeah,
behind it. That
yeah,
it still had the general sort of patterning of what we do now. It's just now we're far more intelligent. Like that's like so I think of like that's a floppy disk, and that paved the way for now SD card, right? And we're SD cards now, and who knows what there will be in the future, right? But that was the original sort of at least it had the idea of where it was
I
going.
can sort of see the logic behind like the protein overfeeding, the high dose like insulin carb up protocols, but like where are you getting the logic for like here's like
So
5 kilos of white
maybe right,
potato
man.
followed by like 30 bananas and then like 2 kilos of grapes like for every client.
No, it's not 2 kilos of grapes. It's 200 grams of grapes every 45 minutes, mate. Come on.
Get it right,
275 grams of grapes. It
and
worked out to
one
1
vitamin
point.
C tablet. One vitamin C tablet.
Yeah. Oh, great.
Just to ensure like you dry to
Yeah.
the bone.
Reece, that's the reason why you didn't beat Josh, bro. You should have carved up more grapes.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what it is.
that's exactly the
Yeah.
secret.
Because you would have you'd turn around, you'd hit a back double, you'd done your sort of your pinch up, got your Christmas tree popping, sort of go there and you kind of like motion to the crowd, like, go on, guys. And as you do that, you just shit your ass out on stage. Like,
Oh, awful. Shocking.
but anyway, guys, so we've got some fucking questions for Mr. Reece here. We've got some of them are fucking brilliant. You're gonna love these, mate.
Great.
Oh yeah, some of the retarded questions,
Some of them
like
are
what is the
fucking
biggest cycle
stupid as hell.
you've been on personally, Reece?
Is that what we're starting with?
Yeah, we're going straight into it.
Well, to be fair, I'm going to be honest. I'd say if we're talking like the actual stuff, this prep, Jesus Christ, the amount of peptides I've used, it's a fucking joke. But if we're talking,
what peptides are you using?
bro, everything.
Everything.
I'd rather, if you were to look through the list of these newer peptides,
Which ones I'm not taking?
Oh, genuinely, like there's like 2 or 3. I wouldn't even know off the top of my head. I'd have to get everything out. Moxie, I use Retta towards like the mid to latter end at like 1.5 milligrams. I was chatting to Tom about this when it comes to microdosing that. I think Moxie is fantastic. Methylene Blue from a cognitive standpoint. SLU-PP332. 5 amino.
How much of that were you using with the slew?
I was used to, I have like a 2000 mcg per mil, and I was just splitting up into like half a mil, and then I was just topping up in the afternoon with like another.
Yeah, so have you read the studies on it, on how the dosing works? It's really interesting with that. It's like, you know, that what we're using is like nowhere near like the effective dose, apparently, like according to like actually translate the studies over.
Yeah, but then also I do think like I did notice a good amount of like benefit from
like
it.
when it went in, did you stagger it so that you knew it was, or was it just, oh, everything's working?
No. I had it in from, so I used SLU when I was, so like for reference for people that don't know, I started like my prep kind of in Jan, but I wasn't training legs because of my knee, and I was like, I'm just going to get lean, I'm going to then hold, I'm then going to push body weight back up aggressively and basically just spam some insulin, spam some growth hormone, try and revive my legs, and then I don't have to do a standard generic 16-20 week prep. Like the first show was 7.5 weeks from when I started prep. So like that puts things into perspective, like how quick the prep was. And I used SLU in the first prep, first part. So like from like February, March up until like June. And I noticed fuck all. And I only used 250 to 500 mcg a day. And yeah, it's a minimum. And then I went over, I went up to about 1250, 1500, and I was splitting it. And I think the splitting effects really do help. But I also think as well, when it comes to the synergy and like the benefits, so for example, something like NAD+, when it comes to like mitochondrial function, you look at potentially MOTS-C when it comes to energy output. If you look at Retta and MOTS-C, like the synergy between them, I think if you can combine them, like I think, you know, if you were to say to me, hey bro, SLU, 1000 mcg a day, is it going to do a lot if you're taking clan and stuff like that? Honestly, no. But I think if you can have it, and there's a few other things that are kind of like, just, you know, like ticking a box, just like, oh yeah, Sam, we'll switch this light bulb on. I think it definitely has benefit. And I noticed just from like honestly, I got to my first show, and you guys would know, maybe not you, Dan, because have you even been in shape, bro? Sorry, that's hard.
Dan's been in good nick before. Dan's been in.
No, Dan, you have been. Dan, yeah, you have been. I'm joking, mate. I'm sorry. That's just me being a dick. That's still the training my system. Sorry. But yeah, Tom, like, you know, when you get like legit skin, you know, you usually correlate like you feel worse and you look better. I was like looking at myself thinking, I feel sound. Why do I look pretty okay? Like I would almost like expect
like training performance, like you didn't have to kind of get yourself into another gear. It was kind of just there.
Yeah, I just felt really good. And just like even the little things like cardio steps, like I didn't ever really feel at all like overly like battered that I would usually feel like. And then I'd look at myself and I'd be like, how do I look like this? Because I've got lines in my glutes, but usually when I look,
some of that comes down to how slow you were taking the prep. Like considering you got yourself into such a good body composition before you started, like, and you didn't have a lot of work to do. Because I always tend to find with my clients, the people that are coming to me and they're trying to give me this like ridiculous start point where it's like 60 pounds to come off or whatever. By the end of prep, they are always fucked. Like they always fucked, and they never look as good as they could do because like their physique is just fatigued by the end of it. But when you've got like very little to come off, it's fresh, easy.
I like, for reference, I started my like pullback at like 128, so like what, 280 ish.
That's 280 on the nose, yeah.
Yeah, 280. I'd been up to 295, and then I came down after my knee injury because I couldn't train legs and my legs had atrophied at that point. And then it was where I got down to like, funnily enough, in June, I was 110 kilos on the dot, and I was 113 for Italy. So I was 3 kilos up, but I wasn't stage conditioned at 110. So
Yeah.
like, goes to show that you can grow into a show. Wow, what the fuck?
I
Who would
think
have thought?
did you say that in your interim between you spammed like insulin
Yeah.
and growth? Like, so how much did you go up to? Because I genuinely truly believe that if you have the capacity to do that coming out of a diet, not even like peeled, just enough taken off,
No, no,
that
no.
is just game
Oh,
changing.
so I got down to 110, and then I went up to, before we started, we were speaking about like insulin spam, and I got up
Yeah,
to like 122 in like a 6 week period, but my composition didn't really change other than just looking a bit more
yeah,
water.
yeah, yeah.
And it was where I was using fast acting insulin pre, intra, and post, like 3 to 5 IU. I was using Metaform in my quads. I was doing 2 to 3 mil in each quad to try and revive them. I was training legs 2 to 3 times a week. I was doing an off plan meal the day before each leg session and also post workout on the leg session.
Yeah.
So it was basically just Five Guys spam. For reference, I am not having a Five Guys till genuinely like next year. Like
You're sick of
Sick
it.
of it.
I
Fucking
walked past
sick of
Five
it.
Guys. I walked past it literally like yesterday, and my stomach I got like PTSD. It was like I felt like I was a soldier who just heard like a bomb go off, and the whole body just hurt. I was like, I can't do it. It's not possible. But no, I was doing an off-plan meal pre and post, so a day before and post workout from leg days. And I was just training, like literally just doing as much blood flow work as possible while taking like Metaform, injectable carnitine, all the stuff to potentially enhance localized inflammation and try and just get blood flow there. And then for insulin itself, I was doing, I think, 25 IU Lantus, obviously 3 to 5
Wait,
Nova.
okay, so it's 25 with like between so on like a
Probably
big day,
40,
it's like
probably
25,
40.
5, 5, and 5. So you're doing like
Yeah,
what? You're doing like
yeah.
40 total.
Yeah, probably about around 40. And then GH, like this, that to be fair, like this will be a separate point we can get into. But GH, I've been running like 10 IUs for like the last 6 months. So other than me being broke from that, yeah, it's good. It
Yeah.
works. And
Well,
I also
we'll,
think,
we'll have a chat afterwards. I've got a source for you.
oh, perfect, mate. Yeah, if you save me any money, I'm currently putting it through as a business expense. I don't think my accountant's going to like that in a few months.
No, you
But
Fucking
can.
HMRC listening into this. But no, I get it. So where were your anabolics then? So okay, I'm assuming so that's kind of like your biggest kind of push. Like where was your anabolics at for
oh
total
no, no,
stuff?
no. My biggest push was when I was 295 before my knee injury, because I
Okay.
wasn't. Yeah, and I'd actually, honestly, I think this is probably part of the reason why I felt so fresh this year was because I used less gear, and I hate, like nowadays podcasts, everyone on podcasts are like, I use less gear, I use more gear here, and it's
Yeah.
like, you've added 20 pounds, 30 pounds, you probably use more
Yeah.
gear. No, I've never gone above. So when I was in men's physique, I never went over. Like Tom knows, I've told him the stuff. Like whenever I've told Tom my gear, Tom has always replied, "Been like bikini girl stuff, lol." So I've never really pushed that high when it comes to total milligrams
Yeah.
within reason. But that being said,
That doesn't surprise me, to be
I'm
honest. Like
no.
genetics wise, like it doesn't surprise me.
And also, I say genetics. Like, look at my training, and
Oh yeah, for sure. No discrediting to your training, but being
I
your
think
age,
it's a Reese. The reason why you look the way you look is not just a genetic predisposition. Yes, you have to have that genetic predisposition to get to that size, whilst keeping shape and a small waist and like the actual symmetry and balance that you have. But you are meticulous with your approach. You will sit there and eat dry, fucking boring food till the cows come home. Like you're just built to do it and mentally built to do it. That's another thing, and that's a genetic predisposition and a lifestyle predisposition that you had before bodybuilding. Like you're built to do what you know what I mean? And you've got the facilities now through your coach and whatever to be able to do it. Everything that you kind of got like lines into like all arrows kind of point to good bodybuilder, right? Like ultimately you need the big one of genetic ability to do it because you can do all of that shit and still look fucking crap.
Yeah.
Like, but and just be like it's okay. So it's like in a similar fashion. How much were you on stage? Were you 110, 113?
What, what,
Sorry.
what, what did you say?
How much weight were you on stage? Sorry, previously.
113, 114.
Yeah,
So
I
two,
can
two
be
more
113 on stage. I can be 113 on stage. My 113 in the same level of low body fat as you does not look like your 113.
Yeah.
Does not. I get fucking bodied by you, every day of the week, twice on a Sunday. But that's a structure thing.
Yeah.
So, but and that's fine. You just built with that, whatever. But you are meticulous with it. I will say that, mate. Like I'm not tooting your horn too much, but you are fucking on ball.
Thank you. But anyway, get back to the gear. That's what
Oh
we're
shit!
doing.
Come on.
Important thing, right? Come on.
So I pushed. I never went over 1.2 grams total weekly load in men's physique. That was including prep. So that was including like when people go, I'm on 1.2 grams, but it's actually like 1.9 because they're forgetting the like
The oils.
The
oils
and
and like
that.
that. So I was always quite reserved. I then had a pretty big push in 2023 after prep, and I got up to like 2.2. That was like my absolute peak. But I was using less GH. I wasn't really too. I wasn't. It wasn't like I wasn't clued up with insulin, but I wasn't really like pushing that those sort of vectors as hard. So it was like the classic, probably like just 10 IU Lantus. Wasn't really needing Nova Rapid. Also, my blood glucose naturally, something that I think again I probably haven't spoken about. I've never seen my blood glucose go over 5. It's always like very low, high 3s at worst, low 4s. So I think I've always been quite just susceptible to soaking up food and not getting too kind of desensitized towards like pushing high calories. And then whilst doing that, I also have to push pretty high calories. So I got up to like 2.2 gram total load, probably like 5 to 6 IU GH, and then maybe like 10 to 20 total Lantus or insulin total. And then I did that for like a good period of time, got up to like 125 kilos, so like 270. This was back in the 2023. So for reference, I was
like low 270s, isn't it?
Yeah. I was like 210, 215 on stage in 2023. But so I put on like a good amount of weight, and I remember looking at myself thinking, like, I showed Tom some photos at this like True Athlete, some shit show that was like it was supposed to be for the Arnolds, and it was like I think I was like 12 weeks post show, and you looked at me and you were like, Reece, bro, you look like 4 weeks out. Like, how are you 45 pounds up? And then you were like, what's your classic cap? And I was like 216 or something, and you were like, mate, you're 255 with lines in your glutes. Like, yeah, open. And I was like,
you aren't making that. Like, you're never making it.
yeah. And you were like open, just fucking full send. And I remember because I definitely had like, I don't want to get down a rabbit hole just chatting shit, so please stop me if I am. But like, I got into a bit of a hole of post prep in 2023 where I was like, I was a better junior men's physique guy. I've not got the weight relative to what I need to do classic, and I'm tiny for open. So I was like, I'm kind of in this like in between position where I'm just like shit at everything, basically. I was just like, this is really confusing. But like that conversation with Tom, I was like, okay, cool. I just need to continue doing what I'm doing. So I took like the whole of 2024 off, and I made, in my opinion, like pretty good progress. But when you get up to 285, 290, 295, and you've been eating 6.5 to 7,000 calories for like the better part of a year, it's hard to sort of like be rational with your physique because you're just like, am I getting fat? Am I actually jacked? Is it insulin? Is it growth hormone? Like, you don't really know.
Yeah, my lifts are going up, but I just had 100 mig the other week. Fucking, is it just that?
You don't really know. So like, I honestly didn't really know how I'd look this year, and then obviously I got injured in 2024 August with my knee injury, which like genuinely like again I've spoken about it a lot, but it was like really fucking bad. Like, it was a case where if you had said to me this time last year, do I get on stage again? I honestly would have been like, no, I don't think I could. I could barely
Well,
walk.
you'd be like, probably not. Give me maybe 5 years, maybe, and maybe I can possibly, if I'm lucky. Like,
yeah, that's kind of like where I was at. So like that definitely like then put me in a position where I was like, right, luckily coaching, obviously I had my gym that I was setting up that was like a good distraction. But like I knew that eventually it would be okay. I just didn't think it would be like this soon. Like I thought it would be like I would have to have another year off. It'll be 3 years since I've been on stage. And then like I'll be into like my like later 20s. And it's like, am I gonna still have that same sort of drive? So like this year has been like honestly a bit of a not like a lifesaver because like, I'm always very happy. I'm always quite a content sort of dude. But like looking back, I was very much in the case of like I didn't really know, especially after 2023, where I won a few shows, but I also didn't really fit a class. To then get injured when you're doing so well, it was like, oh fuck, like am I washed? Am I going to be able to do this again? Like, it's worth the. You guys would know, like when you're fucking eating 7,000 calories, you're sleeping with a CPAP, your blood pressure's elevated, you're having a nosebleed and bloodshot eyes after deadlifting every single week. Like, is that really worth it if you can't showcase it on stage? If life quality is so shit, and then
doing all of that, then you get hit with might not happen, and you've just done all of that work for it. It's a weird one. It's a mixed emotional bag, I'd imagine. So, but how much did you? What were you taking when you pushed up to that second time round? The biggest was that like 2.2?
That was the 2.2 grams. So that was like I think it was probably like seven, 800.
It's not crazy. It's kind of like if obviously I've done dumb shit just to see what would happen, but like if I'm pushing to that point, like at the moment, what am I doing now? So I'm on 600 tests, so I'm on 1,200 total. So it'll creep up from here over as I kind of push and recomp and kind of just get better over this next 20 week. But I'm probably only going to finish on like 2.5, I would imagine.
I'd say
Like,
though,
Yeah, I just think
personally.
that's a fine place to be. Like,
I think it is. I think, like, in my opinion, and like again, I don't know the levels to it at the absolute like elite level. Tom, you probably know more than
mm,
me. But like, if you can't be a very fucking good amateur slash like decentish pro, like I feel like if I had done this year, if I had done a Two Bros Pro qualifier and just decided to fly off to some war-torn country, Verdansk, if I had just gone to like whatever the Call of Duty Warzone maps look like, if I had just gone over there to do a pro
and then
qualifier,
the show, yeah.
I probably have either been very close or bullshitted a pro card where I'd need like 3 years off, 2 years
Yeah,
off.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
To be
I
honest
would say
with
so.
you.
I would definitely say so. I think Josh Law not getting a pro card this year in IFBB is pretty criminal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like,
no,
the fact that he hasn't. The guy, have you? I mean, you've stood next to the cunt on stage.
He's
That
huge.
dude is fucking
Yeah,
thickly
he's
built.
huge.
Like, granted, structurally, he isn't a fucking classic bodybuilder. He isn't like super pretty to look at, but he's not missing much body parts anyway. There's not really anything. He's just fucking massive and pretty complete. So and you to be close to him within a lineup of other good bodybuilders as well, right? Like, you're on the path. I would say, like, yeah, do another off season, and you're pretty much fucking on the way to going and trying to get it.
Oh yeah,
But the,
no,
but
that.
the, but the, but the, I always tell people as well, and you probably know the gist of this, Reece, as well. You too, Dan, is that the curve in terms of usage for like let's say men's physique, and then it's like classic, and then it's bodybuilding, but then there upwards to pro bodybuilding, like that curve goes up quite quick, I say. Like,
I
because
agree.
2.2 Gs, like there's some guy. I'm not being funny. There are some guys that you'll see, some Russian pros and stuff like that, and Ukrainian pros and whatever that are very very aware they're doing 2,000 milligrams of test for a good chunk of the year.
Oh no, no, no.
So it really does, and these are guys that have had to do that to take themselves from 245 on stage to 265 on stage, and now they're competing, and now they're in the top five in Romania, or they're in the top five in Prague, they're in the top five in all these pro quals, and you're sort of looking at it going, fuck me, like it's not at that, and then I think at that stage it's not just a case of like, oh, how well do you respond from it, it's like, how long can you do that before that shit
Yeah.
damages you?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
that's what's
sure. The
Yeah.
health genetics
that's the
aspect
big,
is like,
that's like, I mean, I don't know what Samson takes, but I would imagine with Milos it was quite a fucking lot. But I would imagine that Samson's blood work looks probably as good as anyone's, like
Mm.
anyone normal's. Like, I can't imagine it looks scary.
Yeah.
Because does he look like he's fucking rough all the time? No, he looks good, like,
I
so
know, funnily enough, like this is getting on two different topics. Like, so for example, I beat people that had won pro cards like towards the latter end of this year. Like,
yeah.
I beat pro cards, like the PCA finals. And funnily enough, the guy that finished third, Adrian, the guy that I beat, the
It's
massive
the
Polish,
Polish geezer, yeah.
fucking ginormous.
Yeah.
He actually messaged me, and I know he won't mind me saying this because he was lovely with me backstage. He might do. He might message me afterwards and say he's gonna break my neck or something. But he messaged me off a reel that I posted like a year ago talking about Trent, and he was like, "This is bullshit. Like all the big guys are using this much. I've had to do 800 train, 1,000 train a week, and I know off because I have a guy who trains out of my gym who's telling me like he was coached by similar sort of dudes." These Polish guys are like literally that they don't do health phases. They do like
Yeah.
2 blasts, and their
Yeah.
blasts are just like, oh yeah, sound. It's like, what have you got? How much can you fit in a barrel? Cool,
Yeah.
do that every
Yeah,
day.
yeah, yeah. Eastern
Like,
European dosing. Eastern
yeah,
European dosing is really scarily high.
I've
yeah.
I've
Oh, yeah.
also
Really.
heard this, to be fair.
Yeah,
And like,
everyone knows it.
no, but then again, like he's ginormous. But then I
Yeah.
also think, well, like there is that level to it, whereas you guys have said, like the response. If you're having to take, in my opinion, as an amateur, like 3.5, 4 grams, as you said, how long are you gonna be able to do it for? And also, is it really for you? Like, how's
Yeah.
your training? How's your nutrition? Like, these are the things. Because I came into it, like I trained naturally for 9 years, which is basically like just the biggest waste of fucking time ever. Jesus Christ! But no, I trained naturally for 9 years, so I came into the bodybuilding world kind of like as a natty in the sense of I've got a good amount of experience. I've done push-ups naturally, pull downs. I got pretty lean. And I feel like I kind of already mastered the basics to a degree. And then it was like, right, cool, let's add in some fucking Super John and Peak Week and I'll blow the fuck up. Hell yeah. But like, that's the sort of element that I think nowadays, like, again, you're starting out and your fucking first introduction is 500 tests, D-bol Kickstarter, and then you're doing 1,000 DQ and it's your second cycle, and then you're not cruising. The responsiveness relative to like the fatigue and the inflammation, everything, it's just like you end up, Adrian, ridiculous bodybuilder, but then midsection isn't the best, like compared to probably what it could have been if he hadn't pushed maybe as hard. And then as freaky as he can be, he gets beat by somebody who's probably just a little bit fresher than him. Granted, at an NPC stage, I still think he beats me because he had more muscle mass than me. But there's more to it than just that, you know. And I think
it depends on judging panel, doesn't it, as well? But
yeah.
So here's a good question actually. Here's a really funny one. This is just, we'll finish this up as the sort of the end of the heavy drug talk here, which is which out of the two of us could spam the most Lantus before it finished us off? Dan, you too as well, bro.
Yeah.
No, it would kill me off, to be honest with you. I'm so insulin sensitive. I'm like, it will send me into hypo just on even like one IU of Novus will send me into hypo. I'm not even joking.
That's what happens when you only have like 7 pounds of tissue on your frame, though, isn't it? You just fill it up immediately, and then it's just like, oh, sound.
Yeah, he's like, guys, I'm going hypo. I have to have some more food. Smashes loads of food, and he's just fucking bursting out his shoulders.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got the cheapest insulin cycle going. Like,
oh yeah, absolutely. It's just like same with what Reece said about like blood glucose levels. Like my fasted blood glucose levels are like 2.8 like year round.
No. I did mine at uni before I really understood it. And they literally, the teacher was like, are you okay? Are you going to pass out? And I'm like, no. And she was like, it's half the lowest of the next person in the class. And I'm like, this is normal for me.
Yeah, my HbA1c, like it came back just like it was so ridiculously low. Like it's just is what it is.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's going to be me. Of course it is. Of course I can take them.
You say that though, Tom. You hold a lot of water. Like I feel like I don't hold that much fluid, so you would get to a point where you would literally be like almost like you'd be mummified in a bed. You wouldn't be able to move. Do you know what I mean? Like you'd be so heavily that you would just.
Because I'm 310 at the moment, and I think if I put Lantus in for a week or a week and a half, I'd probably be 320, and then it would just only go from there, and I'd feel really bad.
I remember though, you said like you ran like 100 IU Lantus a day.
I've done more than that, but yeah, that was consistently. Yeah,
that's great.
No, I did two. I used to do 200 for like 100 in the day, middle of the day, and then 100 later on in the day. Yeah.
Wait, what are you eating? Do you even?
I'm only telling me like 8,000, 9,000 calories. Like, what wasn't it? Yeah.
It was just a crazy amount of food.
You were hungry. I'm guessing, like, obviously, because it spikes appetite. Like, were you genuinely?
Did not have problem finishing off mixing bowls full of food. Yeah. Yes. But I didn't do 200 for long. I did that for like little sporadic bits to see what would happen. And then, but the most of the time, it was just 100 every single morning. And then it was between 15 and 18. I used a growth
hormone. Just a disclaimer, guys: do not try this at home.
No, do it. Like leave BNBF and just start that. Like,
for all our natty followers, that's just not.
Put the grapes, put the potato and bananas in the bin, and reach for the Lantus. No, but in all seriousness, I tried dumb shit, but it's not a podcast about my dumb shit.
Man, people learn. That's what I'm here for.
People then don't hire me because they go, "Is he going to put me on that?" And I'm going
to
no, because you can afford it. I used to get Atlantis for free. So what other questions have you got, Dan? Because these ones are fucking.
So I wanted to ask Reece a bit about how he's managed coaching and being a successful athlete this year.
Competing well and competing a lot.
Yeah, because I think it's rare that you see people competing at a high level and coaching at a high level and doing well. And I would say that he's done a good job at managing both this year.
FitX pros at a high level.
PCA pro. PCA pro.
Yeah, PCA and also
being a FitX pro is like winning your class in PCA.
Yeah.
To be honest, in no offense to FitX, I feel like it's actually harder to win a PCA class. To be honest with you, like it's like.
It depends who turns up, because sometimes you get some guy who's like, "Oh, it was only round the corner." I'm like, "Bro, aren't you going for like your pro card?" And he's like, "Yeah, I just thought I'd do FitX for a laugh."
My first FitX show, Guy Harding was in my class, and I was like, "Great!" Like my weekend show of my legs, I was like, "Oh, this is great."
Yeah, I do remember that show. To be fair,
I remember being backstage. I was like, "What the fuck are you doing here, bro?" Like, crazy.
But, next week I'm flying out and trying my IFBB pro card and something else. But I thought I'd step up here and give it a spin.
To be fair, I saw that with like Ryan Mackins for a couple of years in a row. Actually, like it was just just like not competing, just dieting, and then he just turns up on the day and goes to FitX, and it's just like and just destroys everybody. It's like, okay.
The equivalent of like, you know, Call of Duty, like going onto like your little bro's account when he's got like a 4 KD, and like the skill-based matchmaking sets you up and you're just like destroying noobs. Like,
so someone told me about something once that was used that ages ago. I think it was Call of Duty 4, that in youth centers for kids who were like recovering and stuff, they basically got servers essentially pre-made. It might have been Call of Duty 4, it might have been another game. They had servers that were made for them to just play against essentially either bots or play against, you know, whatever, like play against like people who are kind of within the same thing. So it was very, very like people, you know, these young kids and whatever. And there was someone who filmed a YouTube of them being able to get into this lobby and just fucking decimate people. Can you imagine that? You're going up against people who are the equivalent of like a 16 KD sort of thing, like 16, 17. You're just ruining these kids' days.
Yeah. To be fair, that was the first FitX show for me, clearly. Just turning up. Like, cool. Cheers, guys. Give me the sword, give me the program.
Oh, yeah, I got a sword. Cool.
So,
Who did you actually go against? Who was in your class? What class were you? Class 1, yeah?
Yeah, class 1. There was only 2 of the dudes in my class, but I had Brad. Is it Brad Lockin? You know, Cuba's dude.
The shorter dude, but thickly built, really thick.
He seems to win like every PCA short class or like finishes top 3 finals every year.
He's really well built. He's got a bit of struggle controlling his midsection, but he's fucking muscular, like super thick.
He's jacked. And then there's a guy like I think he's like Lee Reed or whatever. He won the FitX Pro Show weekend just gone. He was in the overall as well. He was really good.
Oh, like, I saw him actually, and he was really good. He looks a lot better in person than he did in the photos. He's got like a really weird like 3D muscle bellies and stuff, and when he's got like lathered and glazed, like he looks fucking sick.
Really, really good. So yeah, he was at the FitX show. But yeah, what was the question, Dan? About coaching and
about managing coaching and being an athlete this year?
Okay. If I'm being honest, I don't really think too much of it. I think, as Tom said earlier, like my life is set up around like what I do, and like my gym, for example, is 5 minutes away, and that is a game changer. Being literally a 5-minute drive to my own posing room, a stairmaster that I can effectively tell somebody to fuck off and get off my own machine. Like I'll be like, oh, look at it. I open up like most mornings. Obviously, with prep, I wake up pretty early anyway. So like I'm there, I can crack on, I can have my like routine absolutely nailed, and like in a way, and I've worked every day since I was like 21, 22. So I've never really like, I've been very militant, and I've always just been like that when it comes to my routine. So like, has it been a bit of a stress? It's been more of a stress because I've not been able to enjoy my client shows as much. So like, for example, like PCA finals, I had like that weekend, I had a fair few boys on, and I didn't go to the boys to see on them on Saturday because I was like, I got to train, got to do my pump session, I've got to have my post-workout 5 guys. And like, they understood I'd seen them at every show. That was what was more impactful when I was like, oh, that's a shame. Like I've got 4 clients on stage this weekend. I'm buzzing because I don't have to be thinking about myself. Like I don't have to be thinking, oh, I'm on stage in 2 hours. I need to make sure I'm off my feet, or I need to make sure that I look okay or whatever. But like, I haven't really struggled managing it as bad as I thought it would be, because I initially was like, this is going to be a struggle. When in reality, it's like, it's not been that hard. Especially, again, I'm lucky. Worst case scenario, I can go to the gym at 11 p.m. I can open up my gym. Like, it's not where, do you know, like you guys will know on show weekends, you've got to look around and go, fuck, there's no gym open. What gym am I going to train out of? Because it's Sunday, the show finishes at 6, all the good gyms are closed. And then you're like, do I really want to go to a pure gym? Where I'm like,
I mean, you then like, it does, and then it's not a case of on the day of planning, it's a case of like, weekly, like, right, well, I'll just have to train these days instead, and then how just that day's just fucking gone then, isn't it? Like,
yeah, exactly. So like, I haven't really thought of it. The only thing I would say is just like, I haven't had a weekend home. You know that when you do the Instagram, like the cringy fucking monthly summaries that everyone does now, when I did that, I was looking through my like photos, and the last weekend that I slept in my own bed was technically last night, so it's actually a lie, but it was the 31st of August. So it's been 10 weeks where I've either not been in a different country, Airbnb, having clients competing, or myself competing. So it's been hectic. Like, I definitely can tell I'm mentally fucking trashed, but I don't really ever think of it like, it's not going to affect my training. It's not going to affect anything that I need to do. And I also think when you are like just busy, you don't really think of it. Like yesterday when me and Sanaya were at the spa, I was like, oh my god, this is what it's actually like not to have my mind constantly on the go. But I'm so used to it at this point. And then
you're almost like sometimes I find I'm desperately checking my mobile. Oh God, I got to reply. Hang on, I got to do some replies. Surely there'll be replies to do. And I go to check, and I'm like, show season's done, man. Like almost done. There's no one needs fucking
Oh,
replying to.
it was so weird.
Your head's still going, but the work's not there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so strange. Like I literally said yesterday, I was like, "Fuck!" I've got all my startups. I've got like a few applications and stuff this weekend and today, but like even like it's you get so addicted just to picking up the phone and being like, "Where's WhatsApp? Who have I got to get back to?" And it's like I've had like 4 WhatsApp messages, but they don't need to get back to now. Like I don't need to get back to them right now. They can
Yeah.
get
I know it's not
back to them in
desperate
2 hours
shit.
and they're fine. It's not like there's somebody who's like, "Hey, bro, I forgot this. Can you bring this for my show?" or something like that, or "Hey, man, I didn't have this meal." Do you know what I mean? And they're on stage in a week. It's like, no, just chill. So yeah, I think like I haven't objectively, it has been tough, but I haven't really allowed it to be tough because it's just like this is what it's like. And I think to be fair, once I get out of this like prep headspace of like being lean, like being quite coiled in, I probably will look back and go, Jesus Christ, I don't want to fucking do that again. But I also there is an element to it where it's like if I was to be genuinely honest, it's been really fucking fun. And I'll look back at it and think like this was a cool period of my life where like it was just a fucking cool period. Like the last few months have been so fucking cool. So I've enjoyed it as much as it has been challenging, like
Do you think anything suffered? Like, would you say that like maybe you personally on stage could have been a couple of percent better if you didn't have to manage clients,
would
or
have
your
been Josh.
clients might have been a
I
couple of
would have,
percent better,
would have won
or
every overall. Instead of winning 3 overalls out of 4 shows, I would have won 4.
you'd have beaten Josh. There we go.
I beat Lewis. I beat Lewis the week before. He won the overalls. I would have easily beat him if I had just, you know what? He only had 2 clients on stage that weekend. I had 6. That's what it was.
Exactly. There we
That's
go.
honestly, I don't like. I think if it was where I had my life in a different way. So, for example, if I had met Sanaya like this year, it would have been very different. But our relationship is fucking amazing. Like I'm so grateful for that. My mum so supportive. She's helped me out loads, like with the gym stuff like that. Like there's not really. And also as well, I'm not somebody who looks back with like any regret or any like, oh, this could have been better. Like I'd say maybe if I was to be honest, could I have played a bit more Battlefield 6? Yeah, probably. One
Hey,
thing.
have you played it yet? I'm fucking crap at that. I'm
I'm
struggling
awful.
with it.
Like the thing is, I'm chatting to clients about it, and they're like, "Yo, bro, you need to use this gun," and they're like level 50. I'm like level 12.
Like I don't have that gun.
Yeah, I want to play. I'm level 12. I played 9 games. Please, like, let me just that would be. And to be fair, as much as I joke about that, like, I've always been a bit of a bit of a geek at heart. That's probably the one thing that I would be like, oh, that's my like switch off. I quite like if I can get my work done by 8:30, 9 o'clock, play
Yeah,
for an
same
hour,
same
have
here,
my
to be
final
fair.
meal. Yeah, have my final meal, go to bed. That's perfect. I haven't had that for months, so that would be one thing.
That's a question actually for this was like what do you guys like personally geek out about? Obviously, like I've got all of the geeky hobbies in the world, but like with yours, it's obviously gaming, Reece. What do you kind of like have done that's sort of switch off, but also something that is that geeky sort of thing? But it's weird because people say this, right? And it's like it's almost becoming more of a normality to have these geeky hobbies as guys, even some girls. And it's slowly and steadily becoming something that people don't really fucking
To be fair,
feel
I've
as a
always
weird,
been a geek.
because geek used to be synonymous with weird, didn't it? It
Yes.
used to be like, oh, that's really geeky, it's really weird. And video games used to be like geeky and used to be kind of like, oh my god, it's such a gamer nerd. And it's like now, fucking gamer nerds are like these guys that make millions from streaming platforms and stuff.
But do you not also find like that bodybuilding like it is a bit weird? Like do you know what I mean? So like a lot of people in bodybuilding are also like quite geeky and stuff. Like obviously I came from like before I started bodybuilding coaching, I was working in the tech industry and cybersecurity and stuff anyway. So like
Really?
I've always had a tech background, like building gaming PCs and stuff like that. So I've always been
Reese is just
a
pinning some
massive
gear.
gamer.
Pinning some gear.
No,
Yes.
compression boots. I got
Huh?
legs. I got legs in an hour, so compression boots on.
That's how
So,
serious he takes his bodybuilding right there.
oh, guys, multitasking. If I can have compression boots, leg recovery. I'm sorry. When you lean, your legs are fucked constantly. I haven't trained legs in weeks, so if I can get some blood flow to my legs and just allow them to relax a bit, hell yeah.
That's what AJ Morris does, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
he
I
was
said,
definitely the person who set that.
from natural bodybuilding, AJ Morris
Do
is like,
you know what? That's actually a really good point. I feel like there is definitely so much to take from coming from natural bodybuilding to into the assisted world because I feel like people in natural bodybuilding do certain things like really well. Like training.
Yeah, like diet for
It,
40 weeks of the year. And the second you mention that to an enhanced guy, they go, fuck off, mate.
yeah, no, that's true. So many people are like, oh, what's prep going to be like 9 to 10 weeks or whatever? It's like,
Yeah,
no.
it's good. What about you then, Dan? What do you geek out about? What's your thing? Apart from tech security, but I can't imagine that's much of a hobby.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh yeah, I'm
no,
just
but
setting up
like
some fucking custom firmware.
no, but I actually like really like gaming. Like I like building gaming PCs, and I like and
Oh
to be fair,
shit.
mostly I used to play like FIFA like an unbelievable amount, to be honest with you. Like the amount of hours I had on that. The trouble is when you start coaching, I feel like you're so stressed, like, and I don't know about you, but I've got like such bad
Worse.
FIFA rage, like that I actually had to stop playing it because I was like, I'm so stressed from work, and then I'm going to
Yeah.
play this, and I'm like, I just want to put my controller through my
Well, I
face.
had to start. I had to literally ask one of my clients because he was raging out about Call of Duty so much, playing Warzone and it was on a prep, and I was like, "Your sleep is actually becoming like affected by this. Like, can you please stop playing? Like, please just take it easy, man. Like, just do something else. Like,
it
yeah,
gets a bit excessive when you're sat there like, all right, I'm going to take some pre-workout and play like late at night so the servers are better because I'm getting so like such bad ping that I'm like passing to the wrong player and stuff like that. It's like,
FIFA, Tom, if you've never played FIFA, I'm guessing, have you?
I'm not really a FIFA guy.
So
No, not at all. No.
no, so the reason why Dan's saying like it's so frustrating is like obviously Call of Duty, it's just you and you've got your aim.
Yeah.
FIFA, obviously, if you imagine there's 11 players and you can only
Mm.
control one. So the amount of like AI fuckery that will let you down is honestly so baffling because it's like you can only control one out of the 11
Yeah, well,
players.
you're passing to someone, and you're like,
So
"Where is he? Why is he not there?"
no,
Like,
it's not even that. It's just like you'll do an input, but the input isn't accurate, and then you're playing with lag. And FIFA has like the slowest gameplay ever sometimes. So like if you turn like down 6 o'clock like on a Friday,
yeah,
oh
no, just don't play,
God, it's
don't play.
like it's cancerous. Like it's like genuinely, I'd rather like gouge my eyes out. It's so bad. But then you play at like 11 o'clock at night. Oh my God, it's amazing. But then it's
Yeah,
impacting you because you'll get a bullshit goal go against you. And you're just like, fuck this. Like I haven't played FIFA at all at the back end of preps. I'll play
good.
single player games or I'll play Battlefield with the expectation that I know I'm shit. So it's fine. But like
yeah.
FIFA, I've got the ego that I'm still 14 and I'm still good. And in reality,
Same. So
for what?
that's actually, it's exactly that. Is that I have been good, like really good at times. So now that when I come on there and I just get whooped, I'm just like, I'm gonna fucking break
Well,
shit.
it's, the problem is like now I translate that from first person shooters. So when I was younger, I was like, yeah, 14, 15, 16. I was playing Halo 3 and I
Yeah.
was sick at Halo 3, like fucking absolutely mint at it, proper good with sniper and BR and three-shotting people and all this shit. And you fucking go to play Call of Duty and you think, oh, first person shooter kind of translates over. This is Warzone when in lockdown. That was
Yeah.
bloody dreadful. It was
Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely chronic. Yeah. Oh man, that ego does carry over from your younger self. I get that. I get that.
It's the number of hours that people can put in whilst in like school and college, and it's just like when like they're updating the game so regularly, it's like a new game every week. It's like I didn't even play the last update, let alone this new update, and it's like and you just come
Yeah.
on, you just get fried by everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Pleasure. Yeah. No, my geeky hobbies are well known, far and wide.
Yeah, always be
Um,
Warhammer.
always will hammer. Always.
I also
Right,
wanted to
let's wrap
touch
this.
on.
What question have we got to finish up? What have we got?
I wanted to touch on like because Reese, obviously you're self-coached, and I think always been self-coached. Is
Yes,
that
sir.
um what do you feel like that gives you like as a unique perspective for you being a coach yourself? Because obviously a lot of people when they've had previous coaches, they kind of mirror their coaching service off of like what they've experienced, but also things that they feel like they've lacked when working with coaches and stuff. It's like, this is what my ideal coaching service would be. But if you've never had that, like, do you feel like that gives you some unique idea of what you feel like a good coach looks like?
Maybe, but then also I feel like I don't really coach anybody who's 250 pounds on stage. So like I coach some bigger dudes, but probably no one like as big as me. So it's a little bit different there.
That's
And
true.
I also think as well, regardless of that, there is an element where like coaching still is just very individual.
Yeah.
And I also think as well, you can't really bullshit a good quality of service, regardless of like who you've worked with in the past or whatever. So like I'd say, like for example, like my mum, I've seen her get up at 4 a.m. to be able to go and train, be able to go for a run. Like, she's tracked her calories before like I even knew what macros were. Like, she wouldn't directly track them to the same extent as we would, but she'd weigh her food out. She'd be so structured. So like when I was like, literally, there'd be sometimes I'd be playing like video games till 3, 4, 5 a.m. She'd wake up and be like, oh, I'm gonna go to for a run now, so I can then go to the gym and train, and then I'll be able to get my work done. So I kind of took that, like, in a sense, work ethic from her and gone, right, well, she's quite successful.
It's a
She
very good role model to have right there for a
yeah,
bodybuilder and for
yeah.
someone who
So I
wants
was
to
just
do
like,
well in business in general. Yeah.
yeah, so I was like, that's the norm if you want to be successful-ish. Like, you just got to fucking work hard. So like, I wouldn't say I've like ever really looked at any of the coaches. Like I said, I looked at how Tom communicates to clients on show days. I looked at how he spoke to me, how he gave me time, he asked me questions, and it was like, okay, cool. Well, I've had clients come to me from similar conversations where someone's come up to me and asked me a question regarding something gear related or fluid related. I've just said, yeah, man, try that. Or I don't know, what have you done before? You know, just those like little conversations. And then as well, I was always the geek in the gym from like age 13, 14. Like, I feel so, like, speaking about games, this is turning into a gaming podcast as well. I was always, no matter what I've done in life, I've always been like very, very, very over the top. It's probably some level of like autistic traits, but genuinely probably is the case. So like when I was younger, I played football at academy level. I then stopped playing football because I played too much Call of Duty, and I was like trying to chase top 10 fucking leaderboards, and like had like a 3.5 KD on Black Ops 1, and I was averaging a week. I was like super into that. I then got into training, and it was like, even though YouTube in 2012 was like six-pack shortcuts and stuff, I was like, there must be content out there. And I remember like going on holiday with my mates. Well, I say my mates, with a mate and my mum. And I was listening to like a podcast on like sleep. And it was like, I downloaded the podcast. It was like 3 hours long and I was 15, but it was like sleep in line of like recovery. And he was watching Netflix, probably like Prison Break or something like we probably were watching back then. And I was just like zoned in on this podcast. And my mum was like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, well, if this allows me to sleep better, I can then train better. And it was like, from a young age, I was just a bit of a geek into the stuff that if I've got a long drive, if I've got anywhere, I'll be listening to a podcast, something regarding fitness, health.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah, I used to go on bodybuilding forums. I used to go on there, but not like the UK ones. I used to go to the abroad ones where loads of competitors were on. It was one called Professional Muscle, and I used to go on there and I used to literally go and learn from as many sort of people as I possibly could. And I don't know if you saw forums back in those days, but if you said something that was even the slightest bit like sort of weird or wrong or off sort of their sort of mantra, you just got absolutely bodied by these people. They just ripped the fuck out of you. So you learned quite harsh and quite early on, which I think was a good teacher. But yeah, the fucking knowledge that was there, very Americanized, but like at that point, America and UK were kind of doing things very similar. And then obviously the UK, in terms of actual understanding and knowledge, is massively just overtook, as far as I'm concerned, from a bodybuilding point.
A burger and fries and half a diazide isn't.
Sorry,
Burger and fries, half a diazide isn't the way to peak.
half full.
Yeah, that's me. That's the only American peak, and it's 1,000 tests or nothing, bro. That's literally it. Every single American.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It is a weird one. But it's one of those, isn't it? It's just you just pick stuff up as you sort of go, don't you? Really, I think you just massively.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like you just.
And if you're obsessive, it sounds like you're not obsessive, but like very focused on what you wanted out of bodybuilding and training. So you're doing in your spare time. You're not watching TV and chilling out. You're not sitting there on the sofa. You're learning what can actually be done to make you better at the craft that you really want to be good at.
Yeah, so. But then I also think as well, there's an element to it where like I do it for a certain period of time and then I really have to like reset. So like in the off season, like I am the opposite of a bodybuilder when I don't have to be. Like you'll never catch me talk about bodybuilding. If I'm like with my mum, I'll be talking about football, or if I'm with Sanaya, I feel like I kind of zone in and like in a prep or in certain phases. Then I'm like, right, I really need to take a step back, or I'm just gonna fucking hate everything.
Oh no, guys! Sorry, I just checked something. Reece, sorry, you're gonna love this. I've just been sent what this guy has got to do. You know that carb up thing that I posted? This is. Do you want me to read you the second day of it?
Oh yes, please.
So that was apparently day one. So the salt was cut out in the middle of day one. Yeah, the 12 liters of water was in, and the vitamin C, so they dried out leading into carb day number 2. Day number 2, 6:30 a.m. What food do we think we're starting with, boys?
Grapes? Is it grapes?
No, white potato.
White potato.
285 grams of white potato every hour until 1:30 p.m. And then you do 305 grams of sweet potato every hour until 8:30 p.m. and then at 9:30 p.m. 60 grams of chicken with some spinach and vitamin C, and then same meal again at 10:30 p.m.
Potassium overload, jeez. Oh, Dak turning through the
I worked it out. It's 20. It's 20. It was yesterday's silly one was 20 grams, and then today's one will be that'll be way more. Yeah.
Potato every hour.
Yeah, every hour. Yeah.
What madness is this? The thing is, I already know who the coach will be, and I'm just not going to say it.
No.
I know the thing is, I've seen this plan so many times. Like Tom, you know the girl that I sent you yesterday.
Yeah. The natural
Her
bodybuilder.
last peak. She sent me a last peak with her last coach, and it was exactly that.
What's the worst plan you've seen from like a client who's come to you? Like,
Oh, I've seen people that have cut water at like 48 hours out. Like,
yeah. What about you, Reese? What's the worst? Like something that really sticks out that's come to you and it's been like, what the fuck is this shit? Like,
one of Sanaya's peaks in 2023.
well, you mean the one where she won? Or the one
No, honestly, I can't think off the top of my head. Like, I feel like I'm very. I don't really give that much of a fuck about other people. I'll just like read something and go, sound, that's fucking retarded. Cool. You know, like I don't really process information like that. Like if it's not from me, I just don't like, you know, when someone like sends you through what they were doing before and that like I'm very like I feel like probably actually a bit of a downside of me. Like that's probably my ego. There's a lot of times where someone will be like, this is my plan, and I'm like, yeah, bro, you look like shit. Don't care. Like, do you know, like so I don't really
We're not doing that. We're not doing
like,
this anymore.
I get no benefit from reading what you were doing because you look awful or this hasn't worked. So I don't think too much of that sort of stuff. But yeah, I've just heard shit from like through the grapevine from like probably people like you guys. But yeah, like myself.
The worst one I've seen, there was I can say this because no one will have made it this far in the podcast anyway. They'll have turned it off by some point. But it was Patrick Tuor who did Carlos's one. And this is a guy with ulcerative colitis, and he had 500 and something grams of protein in his diet for a guy with UC. And I was like, how has Patrick got Keon to look that good, but he can't do this? Hasn't quite worked out. Oh yeah, bad stomach. Let's load it with loads of protein. It's just like, oh bro, you haven't been paying attention, man.
Increase the diuresis, bro. So dry out.
Diuresis. What in his off season?
I thought it was like
I've got to get dry for the 16. No, it was like 16 weeks out. So I've got to get dry for 16 weeks out, and then it's like double training sessions, and it was just like the whole thing. I think was just very much searching for a way to fix Carlos, but not realizing that you kind of need to gently kind of work out where the pressure points are, and rather than just punch it and go fuck it, it'll work. Like, you know, so weird. Anyway, Reece, been a pleasure having you, big man.
Sick, awesome. It's been a pleasure being here.
Absolute pleasure. Go and get your leg session in and build those legs up so that they can beat Josh next time.
Catch him on the PCA Pro stage. That's what it is.
Yes, well, you both are PCA Pros now, aren't you, as well? So
run it back next year.
Are you going to do PCA Pros, or are you going to go straight to FBB?
I don't really know. If it aligns, I ain't going to start a prep for a PCA Pro show personally. I don't really care enough for it. But like, if it aligns where like with how they do the shows, if I can just turn up and maybe collect like a little bit of the growth hormone that I've spent, like replenishment. But like, how much do you win if you get like 2 grams?
3K. 3K.
Cool. That'll cover like maybe a week's worth of GH, probably. So I can just be like, cool, sound, collect that. I would like to because I do enjoy.
Like, come to Sanaya with a check. Like, look, I can afford more now.
But I think to 12 IU.
I definitely think I will probably do one. And also, I do really like the PCA shows. I liked how they are for content. I think PCA. The reason why they're so popular is because they do the shows properly. But I also think like I'm not going to intentionally be like, right, let me put my body through a prep. Let me get peeled for a PCA Pro show. Sorry. Like the pro card this year wasn't the goal. It was just a case of I was close and I was like, I'm going to get one if I keep going. And it's a tick in the box that was like more so a case of, right, sound, that's that done. And in a sense, within 4 weeks, kind of completed PCA Open bodybuilding, which is pretty sound. So I was like, yeah, sound. Happy days. Took the piss a bit and just had some fun. Sound.
Yeah. Well done anyway, bro. And like I said, it's been a pleasure. I'm sure we'll be able to catch up with you soon. What's your for those of you, the people who do live under a rock, what's your socials?
Reese Fit, believe it or not. Crazy.
I'll do it. That's all he's got.
Yeah, when you said Reece Pearson, I was like, who's that guy? I was like, I don't know who that is. It's like they you know, PCA, they shared the reel initially. It was like Reece William Pearson. I literally called like, who the fuck's that? Yeah, Reese Fit on all social media platforms. I put out incredibly probably sarcastic content that some people like, some people don't. And if you want to drop me a follow, it means a lot. Thank you guys. Bye.